I'd like to give you another way to look at the Akashic Records today. Perhaps by exploring it from a different perspective, it might open up a few doors for you intuitively.
This is your moment. This is your moment in time. This is your moment. This is your
When it comes to Akashic Records, they've been around for quite a while. And in essence, I'm going to give you the summary here and then we're going to break it down a little bit. But the summary is the Akashic Records are an excellent way to create form to something that is formless. It is one way to hold yourself as an intuitive to access information that is otherwise very fluid and very free flowing. In essence, the Akashic Records, which are many times represented as like a library of books or files or information in that kind of a form structure. The Akashic Records are, in essence, the entirety of every thought, every experience that every soul, every being has had here on earth from the beginning of earth all the way to the end of earth. So the Akashic Records is that giant library that holds every moment that could happen, will happen, has happened. And I think it's a great way to bring form to this concept because this concept is very helpful when we are tapping in intuitively and we want to do work, just like past life regressions, just like, jumping into the future on a timeline. When it comes to intuitively tapping in, the form and the structure of Akashic Records can be very helpful for people. But what I want to do is I want to take this concept of Akashic Records and I want to go big. All right. Because I think if we go big, you're going to be able to get that observer position on what they really, really are. And you'll be able to see if that way of accessing the information works really well for you, or perhaps another way works really well for you. Because everyone's different. Some people, Akashic Records is their jam. That's their thing. That works, and it works very well. And for other people, they've tried to access the Akashic Records and they've struggled with it. And for those individuals, I don't want you feeling like, well, I can't access the Akashic Records, so I can't access, all of the thoughts or experiences of each person, and things like this that I want to access. You can. You just need to put it in a different form. And I'll get to that. I'll get to that. With the Akashic Records, like I said, they're absolutely wonderful and they're a great way to create form. They're also a great tool. Please know going into this, I'm kind of a big fan of ethics. Please know going into this is not a situation where you can just jump in there and pick up anything about anyone. That's absolutely not the case. And if you've been doing that and you think you've been doing that, you might want to sit down and reevaluate because the guides of every single person here, the spiritual guides, the higher councils, the people that watch over everything, if you accessing information about another person is going to affect someone's path in a not so great way, you won't be able to. Your imagination might tell you that you did, but you won't be able to, right? So when it comes to doing this work, I highly encourage always sitting down and saying, please allow me access to that which is for the highest good and that is okay for me to access to benefit or help this person on their path or benefit or help myself. Because not all information is good for everyone to have intuitively. It's much, much better of a path to be able to say, okay, I'm sitting down, I'm working for the highest good, I'm tapping in either for myself or for someone else. Please allow that which is for the highest good of this entire situation to come through and everything else to not come through. So a little bit of an ethics moment in there for you. Now, I want to go big with this because, like I said, I think that seeing this from a larger perspective, you're going to be able to come back into that arena of form and use it the way it works for you. So let's talk about our existence. Small subject, right? Tiny, no big deal. Let's talk about that. Our existence here, if we go back to before Earth was it was created, before, people and amoebas and dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff, before Earth and the experience of Earth was even created. Look at it this way, as if every soul that was going to come down here at any point in time, you know, the year 700, the year, 3000, all souls that were going to come down here at any point in time, all of those souls came together. And collectively, they kind of just like donated. Here's all the thoughts that I'm going to have in my lifetime when I come down here. So let's pinpoint this. My soul on the other side, before Earth was ever created, said, all right, 1973, this really cool lady's going to be born. and that's going to be me. My name is going to be Bo, and this is what I'm going to do. And here's all the thoughts that I'm going to have. Here's all the challenges that I sign up for. Here's all the moments of bliss that I'm going to have. Here's all of the lessons that I will learn while I'm there. Here's all of the connections that I have. Here's all the people that I will connect to. You can imagine how big this gets, right? That's one soul saying, here's my blueprint for this lifetime that I want to experience. And it's not just the outline, it's all the possibilities that I could have experienced in this one lifetime. Okay. So one soul, my higher self, says, I'm going to send a piece of myself down there, pop it into a body. It's going to have a lifetime. It's going to have these pinpoint markers where I'm absolutely going to make sure that I do these things. And in between those things, here's all the possibilities of things that could happen. And amongst all the possibilities of all of these things that could happen, here's all the thoughts and the emotions and the feelings that I will have. Okay. Mostly thoughts. Stick with thoughts. Here's all the thoughts that I'm going to have, because it's the thoughts and the activities that create the emotions that our higher self is looking for. So that's just one higher self saying, here's one soul that, I'm going to come down. Here's one lifetime that I'm going to live. Now, every single higher self sending down every single soul for the lifetime, every single lifetime that existed, beginning to end, all comes together and creates the world. All right. So the agreed upon reality was created from beginning to end. It's not even like it was created in the beginning and had plans to get to the end. There's no linear time on the other side. So from beginning to end, every moment and every possible moment has happened. It's within the creation of this experience, this huge Earth experience. It's pre-built, it's preset. And then we pop down here in our different lives that we want to have at different times. Now, that's the big picture. Okay. We all come together. We all say, all right, here's all the people that are going to be here. Here's all the experiences that we're going to have. Here's all the thoughts that are going to be there. Here's all the possibilities that could happen. Right? We have this Earth experience. When we take that big picture, which is huge, I understand that it's huge, and we want to explore that big picture. We want to find out what happened to that one individual person in the year 700. We want to learn about the year 3032. We want to, find out about what. It's much easier for us to take this huge, expansive concept and put it into some sort of form that we can navigate. It's one thing to say, I totally understand this huge, expansive concept, and now I'm just going to float into it and be brought to, the one piece of information that is going to help whatever I'm dealing with right in this moment. And that's possible. If that's how you flow, yes, it's awesome. But for most of us, it's easier to take this huge, expansive concept of every thought, every experience, every lifetime that will ever exist here on Earth and bring it down into something like a library. Okay. This is where we get the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is a beautiful format for taking all of that and lining it up in such a way that this human person can intuitively step in and connect with it and have a little bit easier time, navigating it. So that's the Akashic Records from my perspective. Everyone has a little bit of a different perspective, which is a beautiful thing, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. When people are being unique and authentic to their own intuition, mwah, it's wonderful. It's good stuff. But that's the Akashic Records in my perspective. So when it comes to, so I want to talk next about, well, how do I go about accessing that? Right. And then I also want to talk about what are the other possibilities that are out there for you if the Akashic Records just isn't really the right feel for you. Both are perfectly fine. Let's start with giving it a try and sitting down and meditating into it. I actually have, if you've been following me for a while, or if you've taken any of my courses, if you're in the Sage Circle community or the Sage Method course, you have access to something called Discovery Meditation. It's a series of audios. And if you have Discovery Meditation, I'll make sure to put a link down here if you don't. But if you have Discovery Meditation, there's a meditation in there called the Library. I would highly suggest, it's a guided meditation, which is wonderful because you don't have to think, you can just follow. I love that. But it's a library meditation that can help you access information about yourself personally, just in this lifetime. Very simple, great starter meditation to see how well you receive that meditation, how well that structure works for you. So if the library meditation and discovery meditation works really well for you, the Akashic Records might work very well for you. I just want to throw that out there for any circle members or Sage Method students that are out there, or anyone that has discovery meditation. In essence, what I'm talking about is a meditation where you relax, and then you create the library in front of you. You go into the library, you allow yourself to go up and down the shelves. And this is what you can do to access the Akashic Records. I say try it in two different formats because experimenting with your intuition is really powerful and a very wonderful thing to do. It will take you a very long way. So I would say try it two different ways, and then if you get sparked to try it another way that kind of comes to you intuitively, do so as well. But try to access the Akashic Records by simply meditating, empty mind, setting the intent that you have that you are within the Akashic Records and being pulled to exactly what you need to see, feel, and hear within the Akashic Records. Start very simple. Meditation, solid, easy peasy, empty mind. Here's my intent. That's all you need to do. Give that a try. If you find yourself getting kind of jolted into the Akashic Records and information's there and you're starting to experience things, awesome. Here's another way to try it. Imagine that you can be walking through something that means something to you. If you love the country, walk through the country. If you love the city, walk through the city. If you love the beach, walk down a beach. But allow yourself to imagine. This doesn't have to be an intuition. This is one of those techniques where imagination shifts into intuition. So allow your imagination to guide you through the beach. Do you feel the sand under your toes? Or maybe you're walking through the city. And then allow yourself to imagine a door up ahead. And that's the door to the Akashic Records. Walk up to the door, explore the door a little bit. Is it made of wood, stone, metal, whatever? Put your hand on the doorknob and then just take a deep breath and know that when you open that door, it's no more imagination. It's all intuition on the other side of that door, and it's the Akashic Records. See what happens with that. Now, notice these are different because everyone's different. Everyone's intuition is different. And that's why I get so excited about coming on here, because if I can throw out different possibilities for you and you start trying all the different possibilities, you're going to find out that even though your best friend does it this way, it's way more powerful for you doing it this way. That's the beauty of how unique and incredible you are. So try two different ways. Try just sitting with empty mind meditation with the intent of accessing the Akashic Records, and then try creating like a walk that you're on. Imagine it, feel it, smell it, sense it. Create the door. Put your hand on that doorknob, and then just take a deep breath and know that when you open the door, behind it is the Akashic Records, and then allow your intuition to pull you. Imagination pushes, intuition pulls. Okay. So those are two ways that you can try with the Akashic Records. Like I said, if a third one sparks you, go for it. Absolutely go for it. It's a wonderful thing. Keep getting creative with what you're doing. If none of these really are kind of working with you, right? You're like, I want to access this knowledge that you're talking about. I want to access like I understand that everything that's ever been and everything that ever will be is already here. I want to be able to access it, but I just can't seem to access it in this Akashic record format. Then I want you to get even more creative, right? If you try those two and they're not really working for you, try these two. Now, sit down, empty mind meditation, clear your head, and say to your guides, to your loved one, to your higher self, to source, show me. Show me my way of accessing this. And then stay open to anything that you see, feel, and hear. Okay. Also, the second thing you can try is the doorway. But this time, after you've walked through the sand or walked through that city or walked through your favorite place and you've created the door. This is all imagination so far. Your imagination's created the door, and you can feel the door. Wood, is it metal? Is it stone? Is it, I want you to relax. I want you to open that door and know that behind that door is the way that works best for you in accessing that database, that library, that big, beautiful, balloon full of just however it comes through. Set your intent to do that meditation. Give yourself like 5 minutes to be walking on sand or walking through the countryside or something like this. You set up the door, and behind that door is the perfect way. This is what your intent is. This is the perfect way that I uniquely access all that is and all that will be, and stay open to what pops up behind that door. So if you've pulled anything out of this video, it's the absolute incredible importance to be creative with your intuition, because some things work really well for you and you might not figure those out until you get creative, until you play around with it a little bit. And the other thing that's really important is that the information is there. All that has been and all that will be is here. This is our roadmap that we're flying down. Do you know what I mean? That we're cruising down this roadmap. Every thought, every choice is already laid out in front of us. It's just a matter of where we want our current consciousness to navigate through. And for some people, accessing those Akashic records or accessing all of these records in the format that works for them can help them with readings. It can help them with energy work for other people. It can help them with intuitive information for yourself. And it can help you with energy work for yourself and making decisions for yourself on your own path as well. So give it a try. Give it a try. I think you'll really like it. And then let me know in the comment section if you come up with a really creative way to access this all that was and all that will be. If it comes through in a really interesting, creative way, just let me know in the comment section. Be like, yeah, the Akashic Records worked for me really great. I want to hear that too. Or the Akashic Records didn't work, so I accessed, all that was and all that will be in this form, and that's how it showed up. Trust me, it's going to be fun and it's going to be interesting. Jump into it now. Have a good time.
This is your moment.